What up, everybody? This is Zaffa Slater, aka the Comic Outlaw. El Chingon is in the house, and we're doing Excalibur number 3. Now, this is Juggernaut versus Captain Britain, and yes, that matchup's good. Let's get ready to rumble. But I want to bring up a more subtle point, and you'll see what I'm talking about as the issue goes on. Basically, who's zooming who and why. Now, you remember this lady. She was from part 2. She was trying to kidnap that kid because he was a brilliant inventor. Basically, they go from place to place, breaking into things, stealing things, taking things. Their modus operandi, you could say, is just basically stealing everything in sight, doing what villains do. And they're breaking into something tonight to look for something important. An ace in the hole, you might say. The Juggernaut. Cain Marco himself, and he got caught in Britain. Who knows why? What he was doing? Maybe he was trying to steal himself some fish and chips and some vinegar too on top of it. But anyways, they decide to help Cain out. Cain frees everyone, which is probably their plan in the first place. Get a few of their people out and maybe have the Juggernaut make some money. I mean, they asked him if he could make some quid, and he had no idea what they were talking about. I'm sure he did, but that's Juggernaut's way. Pretend to be stupid and try to up the price. Anyways, Captain Britain steps in. I'm Captain Britain. You should go home right now. Well, he does it in a jolly accent, but still. And Juggernaut just swats him away. Captain Britain's strong. He knows how to fight. But he's a little outmatched. Of course, Rachel wants to help, but Shadowcat says, well, just let men be men. So Rachel decides to kick back. Here comes the villains, the security, and Shadowcat just does what Shadowcat does, uses their phasing powers. They end up flying out of the car, and the beating begins. I mean, these guys are just B-level, well, B to Z-level villains, so Excalibur is pretty much cleaning them up. Well, Captain Britain has his little slugfest. I mean, look at Nightcrawler. He's dealing with these guys with ease. Boom, boom, boom. Boom, 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 boom. Bang, bang, bang. Yeah, yeah. That's basically what Nightcrawler is doing. And, of course, once Captain Britain, well, gets the stuffing kicked out of him, Megan decides to step in, and she uses her power. She can draw from the earth, and she becomes, well, basically like She-Hulk. And Juggernaut doesn't like to hit women. You know, he's kind of a scumbag, but he doesn't like to beat women, you know. So Shadowcat phases through, because when Rogue tried that, Cain lost his temper, didn't consider her a woman, and punched the ever-living daylights out of her. Phoenix uses her powers, her psychic powers, and boom, there goes Juggernaut, just like that. Meanwhile, this guy, let's just call him Super Weirdo, is looking around a tinfoil hat, light, everything, and he finds the talking head. And all of a sudden, zap, boom. This guy is in a different reality, the Omniverse. The Omniverse is like a midpoint where different realities exist, including Earth. We'll talk about that later. Now, this is the interesting thing. You saw that Nightcrawler was kind of hooked up with Megan. Rachel kind of has a thing for, well, Shadowcat. I mean, that's pretty obvious. So it's basically a lot of flirting. Captain Britain decides to move Shadowcat's stuff in. He just drops it. He says, oh, all my strength. Yeah, right. Bruised ego and sour grapes. That Rachel had to step in. That's all I'm saying. Of course, Captain Britain wants to take a shower. Shadowcat's in there. That's her time. Yeah, he's not going to get in there. Basically, her and Rachel have a friendship. They got a thing going on. Speaking of a thing going on, you notice that he was with Miss Ross, and now she, Megan, is actually with Captain Britain too. I mean, they're hooked up. Just throwing it out there. And of course, they're talking, Rachel and Shadowcat, you know, maybe you can get along better with him. You're both stubborn, da-da-da-da-da. And Rachel's one to talk. I mean, she's super stubborn too. but she has them supersonic phoenix powers, if you know what I'm saying. Of course, Shadow Cat hears like a noise in the basement, a little rumble, and she bumps into another weird looking Shadow Cat along with a Lockhead. Lockhead is an alien dragon that she got in X-Men. Like I said, it gets a little kooky. And like I said, they have a very interesting relationship dynamic. It seems like everyone hooks up with everyone. Of course, there's the lady I was talking about, the other woman in Captain Britain's life. I mean, these guys, and I'm just throwing it out there, they date each other, okay? They're straight up polygamous. You can read between the lines, you could say that I'm wrong, but I have to get this out right now because this gets addressed a lot in the later comics, all right? I'm throwing it out there right now. If you think I'm wrong, say so. But take a look, take a gander for yourself, and you'll realize the truth. Of course, Nightcrawler kind of smooths things over with Captain Britain, of course, because he's with her too. They decide to all unite, be a team, and Excalibur is back together aside from their little tiff, Captain Britain's bruised ego, and Megan's hurt feelings. And I'm Zaffa Slater, a.k.a. the Comic Outlaw El Chingon's in the house, and I'll catch you on the flip side. Yeah.